Hello everybody, I think I'm about ready to get started. Welcome Murphy, the Iron Kaiser, Dango, and Promethean. The baker is here. So I had a couple ideas of what to do on the birthday stream. Well, birthday-ish. Technically, like 5 hours is the birthday. But I don't plan on streaming on Monday outside of overflow of today. So, yeah, I have some topics I think I want to stream at some point. So I guess the question is, did anybody want to go level lower level characters? Do people have any characters in like very hard they needed some levels on? I was doing a kind of assortment since I had been asked about very hard quests. Otherwise, we could do some of the usuals. You have a really low level one that needs leveling? Okay. Welcome in Parameter. That is not PSO. What was that? So we could set up, I think, for it. So if team wants to do it, I don't know if I feel like leveling a brand new character right now. If Chris was here, I would do a brand new character for sure, because he's been wanting to do a low level character, but I don't mind helping team get to very hard mode, and I think that would prep into the video. As I said before, I'm only looking for a couple things. I'm more interested in the group having fun. Although, I don't know why I didn't change my character bank just now. That was silly. Let's see, we have Promethean, Kaiser. Wasn't sure if Murphy had a low-level character or not. But if anybody wants some to boost, I wanted to do a quick video on very hard mode at some point. If not today, it will be Wednesday. I'll put it that way. This person is always in lobby. I feel like I've passed by them like 5 million times. Check the rooms to join. What do you mean, Promethean? Oh no, did you create a game? Welcome, Remote Battery. I was gonna switch over to my blue ID to help the team level a little bit. To me, it is very funny that this character at like 175, 90% of their experience has been very hard mode. Diggy, please. Oh no. What, pray tell, am I walking into? Uh-oh, a trade has been proposed. That is a lot of cookies. Sure. Well, I mean, I could level a character. I mean, with that much. Oh, did you see that NPC there? Chat, the NPC is trolling. I hit confirm on the trade window, and she was right there. She sucked me right into the dialogue. There's no escape. So that is a lot of cookies. Thank you, Promethean. That was far too generous. Well, I guess if the team wants to power level a little bit, I'm not opposed to it. So I could probably help the team level. Dancing to the cookies. Oh no, there's more. Why is there more? Oh, I can't hold that many. Are you just showing me these? I didn't put these away yet. I mean, I could verify nothing's gonna happen. Yeah, it looks like, too many. I didn't go to the bank yet. Let's see, how many does that put me up to? 91. Kind of funny. Promethean just has too many cookies, chat. I was thinking, do I need anything from this? I should probably restock here. Well, I guess this is gonna be another stream brought to you by Promethean. Hashtag brought to you by Promethean. So, Chad, if you would like to level some characters, something tells me you're going to be able to level some characters. It's just a small hunch, chat. Teeny tiny hunch. So let's see. In the mix, we have Iron Kaiser. Well, Iron Kaiser, if you would like to level your level 1 character, you do whatever you want. Promethean can bring whoever he wants. I didn't see if anybody else mentioned. Maybe I forgot. Yeah, the Iron Kaiser we've probably done the least number of cookies with. That'd probably be fun. So I could probably hard carry with this character. I wasn't expecting to do a cookie stream. I was thinking maybe, like, next week, potentially, I was just gonna do a mix of cookie and regular levels, but here we are. The Gafoi Merge Ignition Cloak. There's double. This character is the double Adepts. Now that makes sense. I didn't want to swap it out. It checks out. I mean, I'm going to have to call the YouTube video, like, leveling brought to you by Promethean. I mean, like, I don't think there's any other way to put it. I originally was going to be doing a lower level video, and maybe after we're done power leveling, we could just go through some very hard mode things. So, I guess we'll go ahead and do so. I'm gonna go ahead and make a game, not an episode 1, that would be terrible. So let's just do normal, I guess. I wanted to make a cookie cake. It's certainly something. I'm gonna go retrieve some of said cookies. I don't think I need 40 something. I could probably hold 20 safely and not need to restock. You know what? I'll do 21. There we go. Itsu has found Heart of Tension Blaster. Anyway, maybe we'll record that video after this one. I guess it really just depends on how long it takes. And then chat can humor me. You'll be fine on most of the... There's only one sort of very hard mode run that we're gonna go over. Otherwise, your characters are probably good enough as is. So yeah, I guess what I could do... I don't need it for normal mode, but I could bring in a... Oh, there we go. Now we have 3 people. I'm not sure who the third person is, but whatever works, honestly. On parameter, nice. I'm gonna bring in Magical Piece and a Bringer's Rifle. I think that should be good enough. I don't really need Glide Divine when I'm playing this character. I'm gonna sort my inventory. I can always drop a Trimate if I don't need it. Hello, random frame on the floor. Well, I guess we'll get started momentarily. We'll use Voira-05 as the baseline of how broken are we going to level a character. Well, I guess technically in a way we have started the what quests would I do on very hard mode, because eventually we're going to be doing it with cookies. Your robot's gonna explode if anything from episode 4 even looks at it. Don't worry. I don't think much will maybe hit you other than maybe Goron Detonator on normal. As far as we can't run out of cookies. It'd be like subtitle of video, cookie glitch, cookies are infinite. Can't spend them all. So yeah, do not worry about damage right now. What I would recommend at some point is you should probably get an armor with slots. I hope you have one at some point. You're probably going to need to wear some heavenly HPs. I can loan them out if you don't have them. So that, you know, if we are in that scenario, I can help out. Okay. 3 slots is probably fine. Let me go get these. Qcast probably has like the least issue with it, but it is the thing. Like if you are going with 0 HP materials, there's a very high chance you're gonna die instantly to nonsense. Let me go grab some safety heavenlies. Though as needed, I can dole them out. And we'll formally get started. Yeah, I'll put it this way. You're not going to be sub 20 for more than like 20-30 minutes top. Not even 20 minutes, honestly. It's Cookie Quest. If you manage to get through more than 3 cookies without leveling, I mean, I'm going to be taking a lot of the XP, don't get me wrong, but it is going to be a lot of levels. I see some people equipping some HP boosters. Because your goal is just to survive in normal, then hopefully you have a heavenly battle or two. I'm going to drop a couple heavenlies. Should probably suffice. But you cast one by me. Move them closer. Like, that will make a big difference in your survivability. You do not ever want to die during the cookie quest, so you'll fall so horribly behind. You can just wear them for now. I'll need them back later. I have 1 spare heavenly HP if we really need it. Otherwise, you'll basically just be putting on heavenly battle plus heavenly HP. Now I need the team to come to me. I'd like to get started. I have 1 spare heavenly HP if we really need it. Well, team. And now you get the forecast bonus, too? That is actually disgusting. Okay, you're now officially part of Operation Don't Die. Oh, look at that, you're level 5 already? Yeah, that checks out. There we go. Power leveling to the extreme. Yeah, like those enemies are gonna do anything while I'm Gafoing. Nice try. Nope. I put on the magical piece just to make sure I'm doing as much damage as possible to one shot. The only thing I can't kill instantly are Gertabulus on normal. Okay, haven't died. That's all that matters. You'll also heal via leveling. As long as you don't get double tapped, you should be fine. You pulled me towards you? Oh, you're a fool. Holy. These enemies are just getting absolutely deleted. This is fair, right, chat? This is a very fair, normal way of leveling. Definitely totally fine. Where's the Gertabulu? A couple of these. Just be wary. I can't Gafoe Sec if I gotta kill this thing. Which I could just barely kill. Now we should be good. I kind of hope rare enemies appear. Not that anything is really good on normal mode. They're really good on hard mode, as well as very hard. Yeah, we're literally doing as much damage as possible with this. We'll focus on leveling another character in the future via this method. Right now, I'm not going to worry about it. I like how we went from level 1 to level 17. Bonk. I was supposed to be as a lore, whatever. Goodbye. Yeah, that seemed fair. I guess we'll play each cookie to completion. I'm not looking to speedrun it per se at the moment. Because not everybody started at the same level anyway. Guess I'll talk to the guy to get free money. Anyway, if you have any heavenly battles, you could probably start equipping things soonish. Take my 5,000 Meseta. Oops. Habit almost went to ultimate. Need to set up the chat techniques for the other things. Had to change a fortune. Nice, nice. Okay, let me see if I could get you a heavenly battle while we're here. One moment. And that you could keep permanently since I get that out to new characters. They're like APD. I'll need the heavenlies back at some point. That'll help you with speeding up. As I said before, I wouldn't worry too much. Where you're definitely going to need to be ready to deal damage is probably very hard mode. Hard mode, you might have to deal with Gordon detonators a little bit, in addition to the Gerdabulus. But it isn't, like, required yet. You need a spare V101. Sadly, I almost have spares, because I did so much TTF. I think I literally have like 12. They're all self-found. I didn't purchase any of those. Very silly. Yeah, like we do a decent amount of RT on stream, so I'm gonna have a lot of the RT stuff. Yeah, we'll play out the cookie to completion, because the team needs bonus experience anyway. Anyway, your damage potential should be like night and day at the moment, compared to when you first entered. Yeah, I just figured it's probably for the best for me to just stack with this. It slows my TP usage. I mean, I'm still getting like, what, 4 Gafollies worth of damage, which is like 2,800-ish on most enemies. And most things will not survive this. They're just getting literally cooked. What a jerk, sliding me out of position like that. What a jerk, chat. I'm gonna go back to the middle. Goodbye, Marissa's. laser me. How are you lasering me when I have like 3 Gafoes out? Gafoe, please. That should be illegal. Rampy's beak, nice. I mean, what are they gonna do? Teleport into the fire? Like, what? There is no safe zone here. Nice try, Goron Detonator. Oh, team on point with dealing with the Gridabulu. Fancy real quick full screen, don't mind me. Yeah, this seems fair. Look at that, you even have bonus stats to deal with hard mode. Don't have to worry about not having enough HP. Brutal. Bye, Goron Detonators. The exciting time will be hard mode and very hard mode. Hard mode actually has a decent amount of chance if we see a rare enemy for it to just be Photon Crystal. And then very hard mode will potentially be things like Ignition Cloak, like actual rares, Heaven Striker codes. Goodbye. I like that because the demons was used on the Gridabulu, I didn't even use any TP. Nice team up with them. Just gonna go ahead and duke her out of here. It'll remind me to talk to the guy anyway. There we go, team's already low 20s. Oh, the Rat Beast Beak is on the floor. I mean, I'll take it if nobody wants it. I don't know where it was dropped, though. HellCleave is always looking for those. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Welcome, HellCleave. Hope you're doing well. See, HellCleave, I'm thinking of you. Oh, there it is. Anyway, this is gonna be very silly for sure. Yeah, he does a lot of mind mags, so they get consumed super quickly. He usually asks me for my spares. He probably doesn't need any, maybe literally this moment, but then about 20 mags later. Rip. Thank you for the happy birthdays. I'll keep that Rappy Speak on me for later. I believe, as HellCleave mentioned before, they're worth about half a PD. So I just give them in bulk sometimes when I'm trading with him. I was up to like 60 plus max cells down to like almost 25 after this. There we go. See, it just means you could do another batch of 25. That's all that means. Wait, why do I have less spare bonus? Wait, what? Oh, did Change of Fortune happen? Unfortunate. That is so sad. I was like, wait a minute, it was 153. I got cheated. There we go. We're just gonna keep this equipped to make sure our fireballs do as much as possible. If team has any demons. Also, fun fact, team, reminder, if you do have any demons, they work completely on casts on lower difficulties. I get debanned, sure, if you want. Depends on how squishy you are. Rip. I don't know if you're gonna survive set damage as is. Do you need to borrow a heavenly HP? I got one spare. Yeah, that's why I usually recommend one. Yeah, Slicer Fanatic. Okay. I'll loan it out after this one. Eventually your levels will be basically the same, because the difference between level 1 and level 10 will be nothing compared to like 79 and 80. In the meantime, just hang in there. There'll be a couple down times where I can probably buff you without anything terrible happening. Your odds of survival go up significantly. Stupid losers. Yeah, my rule of thumb is usually, if I'm a ranger, I wear 1 to 2. If I'm a force, I always wear 2 to 3. If I'm a hunter, I wear 1, unless I'm Qcast. Qcast HP growth is insane, but it helps early on. You are going to like Warden Detonator right away. Oh, you have 1 on and you still got 1 shot? Interesting. Maybe it'll be 2 if Rock is sealed. Silly Zoo, get out of here. We're busy nuking the battlefield. Next cookie should get everybody in very hard mode. Four enemies. So far no rare enemies though, which is a little disappointing. Because this is where like every rare enemy is basically Photon Crystal. Like there's pretty much no rare enemy I don't want to see on hard mode. We're just gonna stun lock these for a little bit. Goodbye. Remember when I was leveling, of course, I would just do some of these. I think at some point when I get a, probably a Hell Needle, I want to try leveling in just CCC at some point. Just to compare it to how we've been leveling before. I don't think it's going to compete with Cookie Quest. Nothing competes with Cookie Quest, but it could be interesting to see it. In fact, some of the inspiration for doing very hard mode involves CCC. And I'm glad that somebody had asked me between streams. And leave 1 heavenly HP for Celeste. Have to level that Ruckus Seal near soon. I could just let you borrow the needle shot for it whenever. Interesting. I was gonna say HellCleave. If you have a character in their low 40s, I was planning on doing a very hard video potentially right after this. If there's people that are not quite an ultimate while doing those quests, just talk about why I might do those quests. There we go. That should put you in safety range. Now let's remember to hand in the quest for money. $620 HuCast at the moment. Probably help you get at least to very hard mode, so at the start of the video you get a little boost. We'll be like next group for power leveling. Should rename this the power level stream. As I mentioned before, I think 2 streams ago at this point, cookies don't care what the weekly boosts are. They're like, what time is it? It's cookie time. What boosts do you have? Yes. Promethean needs a moment. Sure thing, Promethean. Oh no, you got an error. Rip. Yeah, at some point I need to level a character. I'd like to probably level like a ranger through the Hell Needle method. I was thinking actually Blue ID at some point. And I can switch to Roxy and level more fast, HuCast needs it more. Yeah, whatever you need help with, HellCleave. We'll assist people today. Unironically, with Rare Week on, I think it's actually really good to be doing hard mode and very hard mode Blue ID. So that's why I'm thinking, I don't remember if I have a Blue ID Ranger or not. If I don't, I might make one, honestly, for the sole purpose of taking advantage of it. So who do you consider the ultimate character for CCC HellCleave, out of curiosity? Like, are the freeze traps worth it if we're not doing ultimate? And is it worth just sticking to, like, Ramar? Raucous, you'll have the advantage. Oh, no, Rangers for sure. I mean, which specific one? Because I was thinking Blue ID, because of how many chances of Jaya there are, honestly. I was looking at the total list, like, right before the stream, because as I said before, I was looking into a chat request. And wow, oh wow, the number of Jaya chances there are on Very Hard Episode 2. Like, actually mind-blowing. I think I've listed them out before, but I never saw them just all in one quest before. Yeah. Because I think I have a Pink Ranger. I don't think I have a Blue Ranger. And now that I've been enjoying, like, Ebed a little more, I might have a character specifically dedicated to grinding that stuff out. I might have, like, another set of another set of Rangers to deal with Episode 2. Have a slot for them. Like a Ramar, Ramarl, Raucous, Raucousil. Just trying to land the Hells and stuff like that. I think I have a White Ranger already. But I could probably group them together a little better. All these enemies. Nice try, Zoo. Yeah, the sheer amount of Jaya on very hard mode is, like, actually insane. And I don't even think it's gonna be a hard run. Like, we could even multiplayer it, like, super easy. As long as one person is, like, a Hell Needle, they're basically all weak to Hell. Like, the enemies that have 80 resist normally only have 60. Give a comparison. Like, obviously the super bosses will still be basically immune, but a lot of the enemies aren't on very hard. Oh, you gotta drop out Iron Kaiser. Sure thing. Well, HellCleave, it sounds like a slot has opened for you. I don't recall anybody else mentioning they were looking to hop in. Do these real quick. Yeah, as I mentioned before, HellCleave, if you want to hop in even just for a game, because we're probably going to need another cookie. Just the guys are eating my cookies are on. Aw. Rip. I mean, I think no matter what, we have to do another cookie. I don't think the team is going to hit level 40 here. Oh, use a pause. Oh, that's the whole orchestral? Oh, that's awkward. I guess the orchestral doesn't cover every song. That was way shorter than the official soundtrack, for sure. Phantasy 9, no. The materials drop. So many power levels. I'll give the group a hint. We were on 6 and I'm playing them in order. Oop, let me get rid of these. There we go. I was trying to limit it to no more than 2 versions, except for Final Fantasy 4 because I just couldn't find other music. Is there anybody else in the audience looking to level a character today? Let us know. There's some materials to pick up now. The plus side of leaving the mode. So we're gonna do at least one more cookie. If you just want a free cookie's worth of experience, HellCleave, and then you can switch into whatever. Team is not gonna level there. We're gonna do another one on hard mode. To the cookie grinder it goes. And hit in the quest. Sure thing, I'll take back the heavenly HPs. Oh, you could keep that heavenly battle. That I don't want back. Keep it on your other character. Yep. If you really want to give it PD later, that's up to you, but at minimum, that should be on your character. It'll make leveling a lot easier. There we go. Thank you, thank you. Oh, after all that, I forgot to talk to the guy. I started going towards him. I got distracted. Damn. I mean, hard mode, if we get rare enemies, I don't think it's a waste. But sadly, we haven't been seeing rare enemies. HellCleave is like, I will join this as a higher level. Get around, Kaiser. Into the cookie grinder it goes. Yeah, we'll just play out the cookie. The XP is still XP. Oh no, it is even V? Oh, that's disgusting. Lulu, super dead. Be cooked. Like that the Rappy died so fast, it didn't register as dead on my enemy reader. The game is just, it's actually confused. Like, how did you do 1,000 damage? And I'm like, don't worry about it. They're like, but it's only been alive a frame. I'm like, don't worry about it. Come on, Marissa, double A. Make an appearance here. Give us more photon crystals. Photon claw, not exciting. 10-hit Jaya. Yeah, I think I mentioned on stream before, I've gotten almost all my hit percentage Jayas from doing this. It's like not quote-unquote efficient, but from the standpoint of what I'm doing aside from that quest, which is power leveling, I would say we're being as efficient as possible with XP, and then we get teehee funny Jaya drops. So technically, it has a lower chance to spawn with hit percentage. In general, if I'm looking at the patterns right, I always get confused when I look at the charts, but I think I don't know if that applies to rare weapons or not. It's one thing where I look at it and then I feel like I get it, and then I walk away and then I'm like, I don't get it. It's always one of those weird ones. Like for common weapons, difficulty definitely determines chance of hit percentage. I don't remember if that's true for rare weapons. Because I see it stated, but just because I see people state it online doesn't mean I believe them. I want to see it actually in the wiki. I might open that up later and double check. Because normally it's like, it goes from about 80% chance to not have hit down to about 25 to hit ultimate. Everything online is proven facts. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people will misquote things, so it's like, I just want to make sure if that only applies to common weapons or not. I know the area you're in determines the attribute spread. So, yeah, one other thing that I looked at and I was very surprised. Well, I mean, I'm not like totally surprised, but I definitely forgot about it. I forgot that Phantasmal World 3 on very hard mode has a 4-4-3 stack. 5 out of 4 people don't understand statistics. I like that one. So much death. HellCleave missing out on the XP with HellCleave. I guess in a way, if he just wants to hit 180 with the character, this also works. We're still getting 280 experience a second. You know, totally normal values for this difficulty level. But honestly, if people did need to level ultimate characters, it's fine. It just wouldn't bring in a level 200. What's at the end? There we go. There's the lore here a little bit. Nice. That's it. I think we need a moon. Well, I mean, there's a very high chance I'm gonna level at this rate. And where things are gonna slow down are very hard mode. Sadly. I'm still good at clears, but it's no longer like... indisputable god levels of tier. Where ATP will get a chance to do something. Extra levels just help ensure less insta-death chance. 15 health and 5 defense sometimes matter. So yeah, I think with some renewed interest in CCC, I have a reason to go for Hell Needle. Since I originally didn't really have a use for it, because I didn't really want to do a lot of episode 2, but doing CCC, I think it's fun. I'm getting meleeed out of my abilities. This out. Okay, so now we get double photon crystal chances regardless of rare enemy. That'll be nice. I will say though, I do like the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack a lot. As much as I like 6 and 4s, I think I do like 7s quite a bit. Very atmospheric. You like 8's the best. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I've listened to the soundtrack of 8 all the way through. Outside of one time, I think it was a stream request. I did not get very far in 8. I think the problem with it is I dislike the game so much. I don't know if I could appreciate the music from it. There's an intense dislike of the draw system, and I'll leave it at that. Also the card game. I did not like the card game. Oh, there's a photon crystal. There we go. Yeah, I think I played it once on stream. I'm like, why am I doing this? That's what I thought while playing Final Fantasy VIII. Game made me question everything. Happy speak, nice. And Ewing though, for Gafoing. Grants here. Yeah, I think somebody in chat asked, I don't remember which game we were playing at the time, whether or not I would be considering having a game mode. Whether I would ever consider running a Final Fantasy. I'm very much on the fence about it. I'm already kind of on the fence about Chrono Trigger, which by the way, I believe has won the poll. I forgot to vote it yesterday. I set up for that when we're done. Even Chrono Trigger I feel kind of bad. I'm not sure. Like, there's a lot of people that speedrun the game. Oh, Heavenly Arms, nice. That also sometimes watch the stream. What about Dragon Quest? That's also kind of up there, to be honest. I really did not like that series. I'm sorry, people that liked it. All I remember is playing the very first game and just getting like really annoyed at the random encounters. I've never beaten it. I got a little further in their PlayStation 2 one, which is like Dragon Quest 8 with the red bandana character and the cursed party member. I got a little further in that. I like the concept of like choosing the skills as you leveled, but it was still like way too basic by that point. I just had played like so many more complicated games. By the way, if you don't need those heavenly arms, I will buy them. Good to know. What about Persona or Boulders? In theory, I could play Baldur's Gate. I used to like it. I think my issue with Baldur's Gate is I just don't like the D20 system. Like, it got me into D&D, but, like, I don't like computer game versions of it, if that makes sense. It pretty much is like, you know what? Why even bother playing a character that is not a spellcaster in these games? I'm not dealing with random hit rolls. If I'm allowed to sleep like I'm narcoleptic, like every 5 steps, I'm dead. Oh, saved myself the last second. Just never saw the point. It was like that in Neverwinter, especially in older versions of D&D. Like, I know I did like a solo wizard challenge at Baldur's Gate 1. I did get all the way to the end, although I will admit, the slimes at the end were very annoying in the maze, leading to the final fight. I was like, man, I don't have anything to deal with this. I have to go rest somewhere. How annoying. I always wanted to play D&D, just don't have a group. See, I would be tempted to maybe try D&D on stream at some point. Or things like it, because I don't even think D&D is my favorite D20 base game. I'll pick these up for sure. Yeah, like, I'm sure they made it, well, balanced in a sense that maybe martial classes can actually play the game. Because there is just kind of the point where in the older D&D, especially anything like 3.5 and below, unless you had some like really wacky world expansions with it, like it's just kind of hard to deal with really basic stuff that any mid-level mage or cleric has. Like, aha, I can smite for like 40 damage, and I can attack twice in a turn, or I just cast like Circle of Blades and kill multiple people simultaneously, and it has like no saving throw. And it repeats itself over and over. Like, even if I just want to do damage rolls, they just get completely outshined. Kinda sad. Yeah. I think that's kind of my issue with it. Like, they kind of explored it in, like, 3.5 a little bit with, like, what I'll call, like, I don't know. What were they categorized as? The advanced classes? I guess I'll call them that for lack of a better term. Dragonborn, pretty broken race also. But, you know, your standard, like, warblades and stuff, like, when they started combining things like stances with, like, marshals have basically full spells kind of things, that was, like, the only time they started to compete, like D&D. Otherwise, wizards just kind of like, yeah, I kill everything with, like, every spell I have. Just name it, you'll probably die in a really hilariously dumb way. I think, like, 5th edition had, like, the meat grinder box. There's all sorts of terms of, like, what horrible things spellcasters could do to you that marshals have just no chance of surviving. So it's just kind of one of those things. And I think with the ability to just rapidly rest in those video games specifically, it just kind of breaks them really hard in spellcaster favor. Because spellcasters are only limited by their spell slots in battle, but if you sleep every battle, then it's like, why don't just play caster? So unless like Baldur's Gate 3 really cracks down on that. I know Neverwinter you could sleep after every fight. Even in that, it was ridiculous. Like, especially original Baldur's Gate, where you just had, like, Finger of Death, and you just hilariously killed, like, everything in the game with it. It's like, oh, are you a mid-level character? You die anyway. Oh, I'm sorry, were you, like, a level 16 fighter? Doesn't matter, you failed your save, GG. Tactician mode and I think honor mode take a lot of resources to rest. Interesting. Yeah, I never got into like 4th edition with the healing surges. I think I liked it in theory, but I just never played it really safe, I feel one way or another about it. So I guess the way that I play it is like I'd rather the game be more skill expression based than D20 based. Like if I'm gonna play a game that is turn based, I would rather it not be based off of D20. That makes sense. Like when I'm playing something like Etrian Odyssey low level challenges and basically rushing to the end of the game, like there is some RNG in the game, but it's not like my experienced fighter can't like hit something and he's blind as a bat and just whiffs over and over. Another reason I don't like playing martials in that game. Like imagine dedicating your entire life to fighting and you just like roll 3 1s in a row and it's just over. Or the equivalency of 3 1s. You caster Fomar. Yeah, it's just kind of one of those things. Just like, Yeah, there's not a lot of support for, like, alternate forms of combat. A lot of time it has to go into, like, house rule territory, and a lot of that does not translate into video game form at all. Give an easy example. Swashbucklers are done very poorly in D&D for the most part. I know there was like an expansion for Neverwinter that allowed the full D&D class list, more or less. I remember playing as like the Dragon Shaman and just fire breathing like every 12 seconds or something like that and just killing everything. So dumb. It was like fireball, fireball, electric blast, I've stunned the enemy, fireball, fireball. Like, yup, marshals can definitely deal with this. Like, oh, am I stunning you out of turns repeatedly with like no cooldown? I even play like a melee character in the earlier version of D&D. Coder Tour is your favorite D20? I don't think I've ever played that. I'm assuming it's Knights of the Old Republic. Probably one of the only times I'll recognize an acronym, maybe. Yeah, I don't have an opinion towards it. I don't even think I've seen it played before. Like, I could not have told. I would not have thought it was D20. Ogre super good early D&D games. Yeah, I'm more into like... I like tactical decisions, and I don't feel like D&D honestly offers a lot as like martial. That's why I get like really bored playing like normal D&D based games. Like fighter to me is like so brain dead in D&D. Whereas, like, in, like, any other game, you would have, like, all these really cool things you could do, and they just do nothing. Like, their thought process is, what do I level up in between, like, sessions, and then your brain is off, like, 89% or more of the time as fighter. There's not really, like, a great reward system for them. And, like, they've slowly tried to fix that over time. And, like, games like Pathfinder have tried to correct it. But honestly, outside of, like, Mutants and Mastermind, or maybe, Big Eyes, Small Mouth or something, I haven't really seen a system that addresses the problem I have with those characters. Yeah, it's like, they have, like, the ability to make it interesting. Like, you know what would have been interesting is if it just as, like, a class ability. Like, how much more interesting they would be as you play. Being able to trade off AC or damage in exchange for hit, but you have that without spending, like, 5 million feats for it. And I think the big problem, too, is that they can only target, like, one type of AC. Like, you don't really have fortitude attacks. You don't really have anything that targets reflex. Whereas, like, the wizard is like, oh... do I see a big dumb guy? I think I could just mind control him. Do I see, like, you know, another spellcaster? Well, he's not going to probably succeed fortitude saves. Like, there's not a way I could really creatively play around an encounter. So it doesn't feel like I'm thinking at all. about what I need to do to win. And that's usually my big issue with D&D. Compared to, like, with Mutants and Masterminds, where it's, like, per encounter, you can decide, like, whether or not you even want to roll a d20. You could just choose to automatically hit minions, for example. And then based off of what they do to you, you can hit the other damage types. You could kind of feel out the encounter and fish for, like, what you think their weakness is based off of rolls. Like, there's just so much more going on in those kinds of games. I just wish it translated a little more to D&D, because they naturally get things that would be, like, combat expertise or, like, power attack. But, like, they don't have to spend any feats. You just do it. You know, and you know, or you could have the equivalency of, like, whirlwind attack, but it doesn't, like, totally suck, like almost every version of D&D that it's in. And I think to some extent, like, they kind of started fixing it in 5th edition, but then they also went backwards, because now there's less things that do, like, attack of opportunities, which was, like, the only real time I thought as a fighter. And, like, older D&Ds, just making sure they're within reach, then maybe threaten them out of spells, but you can't even really do that for the most part anymore. So they just feel kind of lackluster to me. Maybe that's a hot take. Why not XCOM? Oh no. I have heard infamous things about them, but I've not played XCOM. Yeah, it's kind of like one of those things where, like, you know a character is, like, really poorly balanced when, like, the only reason people take your character class is to take, like, a 1-level dip. Or like, 3 tops. I'm like, I don't think that's a sign of a great system. So they're just like, oh, I want to do, like, the extra action surge as fighter, but then I'm gonna be full spellcaster. I'm just using it to cast 2 spells at once. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things. Specifically, my gripes with 5th edition are they don't feel like real characters until level 3. Yeah. So it's like, I wish there were more tactical decisions. And I think some of the problem with that is because they have to be able to put it in the realm where, you know, if you're on a more, like, human versus human system, you're going to have, like, more mechanics to interact with them. Like, disarm matters more, or, like, trip matters more. But, like, the problem with, like, high-level adventure D&D is, like, are you gonna trip, like, a gigantic worm? No. Are you going to be able to out-rustle a dragon? Usually no. So it's like, even those combat options are just literally useless. I've never been excited to play them. Ritana asks, what is that? So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like, I don't think you should be able to, like, win in every scenario, but when your only choice is to, you know, just attack, single attack every turn, it just doesn't really interest me. I mean, the way I kind of view it is you're literally just playing an NPC at that point, right? Like, what's different between you and, like, a 3rd edition warrior if all you do is attack every turn? Like, what are you offering to the table? The answer is usually nothing. The dragon ignores your attempt to grapple and eats you, basically. That's saying I'm sure FE could also be bad, yeah. I've been hit by that 1% chance to hit, 1% chance to crit before with a crit. I'm like, seriously? This happening right now? I think XCOM just lies to you, just straight up. I don't even think it's RNG. It's like, yeah, you have a 95% chance. Realistically, it's always like 60. Like, take that, expectations. Yeah, it's just kind of like one of those things. It's kind of like the issue with the system. There's not really like the... Like, if the martial doesn't go to like supernatural levels of combat prowess, they just fall off really hard. So again, like martial class splats are fine, and those are usually very powerful, but like if you're just like pure martial without ever getting spells, you're like bottom tier. You're not doing anything. Like Paladin Sorcerer, that's fine. You want to do Wizard mixed with something else, like Fighter, that's fine. Pure fighter, get out of here. Yeah, at least like characters like paladins have some kind of scaling with them in 5th edition. If you're doing like a warlock paladin kind of thing, you could be very abusive. It's kind of one of those things. I wouldn't play like anybody that was spellless. I just don't think they have anything interesting. And then I think like they really nerfed the rogue card in 5th edition, so that has me like super unexcited to play them. I'm like, oh cool, I get to do bonus actions. Finally, I have some decisions to make tactically, and then it's like, oh, but your combat reflex is also a bonus action, or your normal evasion is now a bonus action, and I'm like, no, you're taking away my combat choice for something I always used to have. That's not good. I was like, what's the point of that? Dumb. Murphy says, theoretically, martial is powerful that they do high damage while expending resources, but Fireball can end the entire counter in a turn. I mean, like, there just comes a certain point where if you're comparing, like, a level 8 or, like, a level 10 character, I just feel like the spellcaster will end every encounter. It's somewhere around, like, the unlocking of, like, 4th level spells. The game breaks really, really hard. I'm not even talking about 9th level. 9th level is just utter broken. There's nothing martials can do to compete with that. But just even just, like, midway through the game, it's over. Like, the moment you get 4th level spells, GG. And honestly, there's a lot of really broken 3rd level spells. Like, they tried to nerf them over time. You don't just have, like, a party going, tee-hee, I'm flying and cheese every encounter, for example. So, like, the buff wizards are no longer, like, god tier in, like, 5th edition. Like, they could be good, but there's things you could do instead that could just end entire encounters on, like, the same spell slots. And then there's also things that don't really translate into video games that well, like illusionists. Illusionists probably need the most hand-holding if you're playing with the people that have those. Like whether or not, for example, you can hide in a barrel that's created by something like Minor Illusion in order to break line of sight. But like, technically, it's not there, and people can still hit you. But it's like that kind of stuff that does not usually come over into games. Or a lot of the more creative uses of things like prestidigitation don't translate very well. You know, those things are better how Google / play it along with. We're steadily climbing up there, at least. Probably sell a couple armor since I'm here. It's actually worth something now. Probably should have dropped the priest line, but whatever. The Wayscape dolls for Peter. Yeah, it's kind of like the difference between, like... I don't know. I mean, even in, like, 5th edition, I can think of some examples. And I'm not even, like, super well-versed in 5th edition. I don't play it currently. But, I mean, like, there's just so many ways you could just end up being tankier than, like, the fighter and just beat them at their own role while still doing significant damage. I just find it very weird. I think it's like the, what school of magic is it? The Abjuration? I think it's an Abjuration wizard. Where every time you cast things like potentially the same school as like Counterspell, for example, you just gain temporary hit points and can use it to shield others as like a bonus action. You focus on that school of magic. Like that does the bodyguard role so much better than like any martial class in 5th edition. just find it very funny. While also still doing damage, while also still being a full spellcaster. You're like, oh, I'm walking in, I got a D10 health plus constitution. How much health do you have as the wizard? Oh, I have like a 2d8 shield, and then a d8, and then I have 14 con as the wizard. Oh, like, okay. Cool. Cast mage armor, GG. And there's some very, very questionable cleric splat books in 5th edition. Victory music, almost. We're not quite level 80 for the victory. Yeah, I definitely find that kind of hard as a concept, especially as like a DM when there's so many like expansion books and they're like, some of them are just clearly not balanced. Like having to deal with that every time you play, like what's allowed, what's not allowed. I don't know. Not my favorite thing about the system. I think maybe that's why I gravitate a little more towards like point-buy systems now if I do want to play something like that. Where it's like, these are things that exist, and technically anybody can have them. But whether or not you go for them depends on if it fits your build, kind of thing. Or the theme of your character. I think I just like that more in concept than some of the other stuff. You know, I'll give another example of like things that I think D&D kind of doesn't support very well compared to other systems where there's like mechanics. And ironically, that to some extent is role-playing. Like, you are encouraged to do things like take backgrounds, for example, in like 5th edition compared to other games. And like, yes, that defines your character a little bit more, but then there's not really like... There's not really an in-game mechanic that rewards you for going with that character, other than, yes, I will use skills that are associated with said background. Compare it to something like, even Pathfinder has it, but even to something like Mutants and Masterminds with hero points, where if you play into your character flaws, or if the DM uses like a quirk against you that your character has, like you're rewarded for standing up in the moment. And that will translate into like the ability to rewrite a scene to some extent, so you could quote-unquote save the day. Yeah, it's just kind of like one of those things where like, I think it was in 4th edition specifically, where people complained a lot about like the social encounters where it was just a series of dice checks. Like that's what they made those kinds of checks like. They went a little bit back from that in 5th edition from what I remember. And honestly, like, some of the concepts that are in 5th edition, I'm just kind of laughing. I'm like, those have been in other systems forever. I think D&D is finally learning a little bit from those other systems, which is kind of funny because D&D is, like, the originator of a lot of different systems. But, like, other systems since then have evolved a bit more. That does make me a little sad. So maybe at some point we'll play the equivalency of a D20-esque game. I do love that this character did level up while playing it. Cookie Quest is so dumb. Yeah, even a lot of games with like D6s, like I unfortunately am terrible with names, but there's ones where like you have like a limited number of D6 you can use towards skills, and that pool doesn't refresh until you do certain actions. So until you do like X, you know, that's all you have, and you have to do something to recover the dice. Where there's like kind of like a strategy to it, where it's like, oh, you know, do I spend all my dice on the big roll because I need it to succeed? Do I take a risk? Like, those are choices that I feel are kind of absent in D&D. Like, it's very binary. Do you have it? Yes. If not, no. There's not really a nuance to it most of the time. Like, offhand, even it's like a really dumb game where you're playing as like a team of goblins trying to do a heist. And like the way to recover skill dice is to purposely sabotage your friends in a hilariously dumb way. Like even like a semi-joke game like that has more going on with it than D&D. Like you have to do it if you need to get your dice back, kind of thing. Welcome, Steve. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for the almost birthday. I forget its name offhand. I feel really bad. I've not played it, but it's like just kind of an example where like number of dice you're allowed to use are in like a pool where there's like ways to play with the resources. I find that like infinitely more interesting than some of the other options. I'd be willing to try one of those as like one-offs. I think there was a similar system with pirates where like if you purposely did something with panache, it would technically make the check harder, but the reward was better for doing so. Where D&D is just very statistically a number game. You're like, oh, is somebody trying to win in a counterspell war? Bigger number beats other number, GG. Get outplayed. Hopefully things are going well for you, Steve. Don't think I talked to the guy. I'm gonna talk to him. There we go. I left some grinders behind, but that's fine. Well, on the plus side, probably in the next hour or so, we'll be done leveling people, and then we'll try another thing, and then we'll do bonus stuff after that, I guess. Plus side of the cookie quest, leveling new characters does not take very long. Maybe 2.5 hours real time, less than that in game time. Been so-so? Sorry to hear that, Steve. Hopefully some Final Fantasy VII music will pick things up or perk things up a bit. We're talks of D&D, which is very nerdy. Yeah, I kind of view like that same feeling where like I appreciate D&D for what it did, but I enjoy the offset games a lot more, I think, at this point. I feel kind of similar when we're talking about games like Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy. Like, they're very iconic, but ... Do I really just want to be selecting the fight command, or do I really just want to be rolling a single d20? My entire experience as the character? Not really. I need options. Z. All the satellite lizards. Yeah, I had the same thing, Murphy. I never understand. Like, I'm cabled in on laptop, and it's always slower than my phone. And I'm like, why? The other one's on Wi-Fi at best, but it's always faster. I never understood that. I'm assuming it has to do with how they distribute mobile versus whatever. I'm almost wondering if it's worth watching quote-unquote on Twitch mobile, but on the PC. Just to force it to load faster. Photon drop, nice. Ooh, barely alive. I was gonna say, Murphy can time travel with his phone. He's 2 seconds into the future. With that, now that team damage is pretty good. Stacking those Gafoes. Churning them out, chat. Heals. Yeah, the same. It's like, it's kind of like an interesting blend of like what is too complex versus what is too simple. Like, I'll give an example. I wanted to like Octopath Traveler, but I was not a fan of it because like there just comes a point in time where like I'm just kind of done with encounters, and I don't really want to play the mechanic of the system anymore. Like, that's where I appreciate having an auto battle or auto let go system in those kinds of games. Where I'm like, I'm clearly like 50 levels over the enemy. Why do I have to worry about like the mechanics of the game at this point? I would like to be able to just auto through. But at the same time, if like every encounter could be done like that, like if regardless of challenge, outside of bosses, it's like, eh. It's just kind of like one of those things where it definitely just kind of got annoying to me. Although I will say, I definitely never got the true ending of that game. I went there blind into the final series of bosses. I definitely quit, uninstalled the game after that. I don't appreciate some of the old school RPG mentality. I don't know what they were thinking with that true final dungeon. I don't know about you, Chad. If it takes you, like, literally an hour to get through 8 bosses and then the first phase of a final boss, and you die on the second phase, I really don't want to redo those 8 bosses again with story in between. I'm sorry. I have no interest in doing that. So I gave it one shot, and then I realized that I didn't have enough raw HP on the second team, even though they were strong. Those characters were just slightly lower level. And then I died, where I was like, wow, I literally couldn't survive certain attacks. Like, if they got a turn first, they would win, but the boss went first and I would die. And I'm like, well, GG. Because it doesn't matter if you have healers if you get one shot. So that wasn't really fun for me, chat, to say the least. That's probably one of my least favorite final bosses of all time, up there with Rogue Galaxy. For those that haven't seen it, I'm thinking about playing that game again, but I am 1000% using save states on that final boss. I have earned not sitting through 40 minutes of cutscenes at this point. Uh-oh. Tell me, oh, look over here. I'm sorry, chat. If you haven't seen that boss, I'll give you a hint. It has an unblockable, depending on where you're standing, attack that instantly kills you and makes you redo the entire 8-phase boss battle again, complete with unskippable cutscenes. There are about 22 minutes of cutscenes that you cannot skip through, not an exaggeration. Though it takes about 40-something minutes to get back to the same spot every time. It's horrendous. Oh, Kunai. Well, Kunai with 30 hit. Ooh. That's actually huge. It means the New World can land it consistently. It's like one of the biggest oof boss designs. I literally was like, did you guys even playtest this? Yeah, they did the rule of cool where they decide to make you solo the boss, but then your stats don't matter because it puts you at max HP, and the boss can still one-shot you at max HP. It's like actually insane. I have no idea what they were thinking. What happened, indeed. So it was a choice. I don't know why they did that. Oh, and by the way, since it's a single party member, you can't revive yourself. So you literally have one try to beat that boss, or you gotta redo the entire thing over. It was brutal, chat. It was brutal. I was like, and there's some warning for some of the unblockables, but there's one of them that was like, even if you run, it doesn't matter. It will still hit you 90% of the time. It was to the point where people would put on literal YouTube recordings of how to dodge that attack because enough people have asked. Like, not beat the boss, chat, just to dodge one of those attacks because it would otherwise just game over you on the spot. Crazy. That boss was so unfair on so many levels. But anyway, we're gonna meme on that game in the future for sure. So for those that haven't seen it, you'll finally understand Suddenly Centaur. You'll see it in context of why we said it. We're like, what is going on? The game is it starts out really strong. Did I leave a PD behind? Maybe. I wasn't super paying attention. I saw a congeal cloak at one point. I picked up a congeal cloak. I picked up a kunai after that. Yeah, it's just kind of one of those things where just I'm really over them trying to do like the cool final boss where you get new mechanics. I am so over that as a game design element. Like, please don't change the characters I've spent literally hundreds of hours playing in some scenarios. Give me some whack mechanic. And then I missed the PD. I don't know why. Sure, I missed one. See some eye drops? Oh, sorry, Murphy. I'm not really heartbroken over it. I don't really need PDs for anything at the moment. Just kind of whatever to me. Sorry to hear you're feeling exhausted. Eat them for cookies? Oh no. Yeah, it's like I don't really do trades, so like until I do challenge mode, I don't have a purpose for my PDs. Angry fist with what? Oh, hit with 0005, not that it. Rip all the lizards. Yeah, so like I have enough to get like 5. That's where I'm at currently. So I can get like Hell Needle, Arrest Needle, maybe Hell Shot, then I'd probably want Demon Mech Gun, Hell Slicer. That would like be it. So I have those in case I need to make them. It really just depends on when we do challenge mode, whether or not I want to do that, or just pay and never do challenge mode again. I think I mentioned before, my biggest concern with it is just making sure people know how to actually beat those bosses on normal. Like, I know that sounds kind of like mean to say, but like, honestly, do you know how much time we could lose if somebody doesn't know how to dodge Worm Boss on normal? Like, you guys gotta be like really, really serious with it. Because I'll put time in to learn it, and I'll learn the routing, but it's like, at the same time, like, you can't like level out of your problems. That's like, that's where I'm like really scared to just do it with random people. But, like, even I would practice before we do it, like D-roll A. I see that boss being horrible. Like, I'm not that worried about falls comparatively. Like, I fought falls so much that it's fine. To some extent, I might need to redo like Bolt Up just because that normal mode strategies are so different. I want to say I used to like Gofoe spam to do it, and I think Lightning is also fine. But it's like the low-level Volt Ops traps I gotta get used to again. What are these? Like, I know I used to destroy like literally everything in the room by just stacking Gofoe. Yeah, so it's like if you don't know where to stand for the scatter laser, if you don't know how to dodge it when it goes to the other end of the raft and like divides up the raft, like that's where players are gonna die. And because of the fact that if a player is dead, it ends the run. Not like we keep going, like the run is over if that happens. It puts a lot more pressure to learn it. Otherwise, I'd be like more willing to jump into it. But it requires like a dedicated group, because it also can't just be like random people jumping in. It has to be like the same 3 people or people that have beaten challenge mode before. That would be about it. That would be my concern with it. It just requires a lot of dedication compared to some other mode, where we could like drop in, drop out at ultimate anytime. And like there might be stricter requirements for tower. It's not as hard as challenge mode. Yeah, so it just requires like 100% commitment, versus other ones is more casual play. Yeah, like I imagine we're gonna not get good times for like the first few times we do it. So we'll probably have to do it again. We'll do challenge mode for Cookie. Jeez. Got a couple more left. Lots of angry fists. Yeah, it's just like a different dedication to it. Oh, I did actually disregard them. It's gonna sell a bunch of these for money. Since I'm here, I might as well as. I do need money on my other characters. Oh. I thought I picked these up already. I'll have to drop these two. Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, I almost think in a way episode 2 would just be easier minus Ogaflow, because I don't think the other bosses are that hard. I feel like the worm boss is so punishing compared to episode 2's. Episode 2 is just waiting. Like, that's the difficulty on it. I'm not as scared of that boss as I am of episode 1 worm boss. I don't really care about the enhanced dragon. Gal Griffin could be kind of annoying, but like we fought Gal Griffin enough that it's not really gonna change that much between difficulties. Like, yes, we'll have to bard it more, but it's like, okay. I mean, the most important thing is to learn not to be where he charges, I guess. Episode 1 worm boss is the easiest. It depends on how hard the challenge mode level is, because are we allowed to burst it before it does the lasers in the middle of the raft? Because once it does that, that's going to kill people that don't know how to deal with that. That's the big caveat. Unless you're playing something like HellCleave, maybe you could tank it, maybe. But like a force is not going to survive that. There's a lot more patterns to remember with the worm boss. So yeah, really, it depends on what level it puts us in there. If it puts us in at like 14 or 15, I don't think I care. If we go in at like level 7 or something like that, like the Faux New World is dead. Faux Newman's probably dead without buffs. So the ceiling attack does like 1,000,000 damage, and that's like pure RNG. Like, you could stand in the corner and still get hit for no reason. That attack is like actually stupid. I want chat to remember how unfair that boss is with set damage in that fight. So it just really depends on what level you are. And again, if you're playing something like HellCleave, that's not a concern. But somebody probably needs to be forced. One of these. Debuff. Yeah, we'll probably do a combination of HellCleave, Seal if I had to guess, plus that should cover basically every scenario, so we have enough freeze traps to deal with everything. Enough for all ATP that you can get by without Shifta. So basically, if I played Force, I would basically only buff you when we were specifically with boss. So we don't have a way to go back to the shop. And I can't rest at everybody that gets hit on like dumb bats. So fortunately, I think it gives you a couple scape dolls. Like there's a little bit of an out at least for the lower HP characters. But hopefully if we avoid, like, generalist characters, like, I wouldn't want to bring Raw Marl or Hugh at all in the challenge mode. But, like, Raw Cast, Raw Castile, Hugh Cast, Hugh Castile is probably fine. The characters with, like, super hard trap shutdown are needed. And characters with naturally high ATP, they could take advantage of the attacks are good. The only downside with Hugh Cast is his accuracy is kind of bad. So he might not be able to equip without like proper mag leveling, because you also have to level your mag as you play if you want to do a quick B bonus. He's not going to be able to equip things like auto gun or lock gun unless he specifically starts pumping a lot of dex. So it's going to be a very precarious balance. People have to learn how to deal with that. And like granted, some of it will come from just doing it. But it's like, these are the things I want to make sure people remember when they play that. Oh, Jaya dropped with no hit, that's sad. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with it. Like, if all we do is find HP material and give it to the Force, I definitely would be way less concerned. Yeah, I definitely view the Worm boss as one of the harder bosses, for sure. Other than maybe Overflow. I'm not really worried about falls. But I guess that's just because I'm used to fighting falls. The only thing with falls, we just need to make sure to all be on the same side. We can't do what we do in normal TTF. We can't afford to split, like, 2 people on the left, 2 people on the right. Like, we all need to be together, period. Make sure we don't get hit by the spells. But then far enough apart that we don't kill each other with spinners. But, like, I think that will require a little bit of practice. That's mostly what I'm concerned about with falls. We don't have to worry about the ring around the rosy phase at all, fortunately. I thought they spawned on... Oh, I guess maybe... Yeah, probably not a normal. They probably don't spawn on normal. Yeah, if those don't spawn at all, then my concern about falls is basically gone then. What are these? Yeah, normal doesn't get third phase. That I'm not worried about that. We don't have to deal with the Soul Link. I already mentioned that. Olga Flow seems terrible because I don't think I've ever done low-level Olga Flow. That would be the boss I have like literally 0 experience with on like actually needing to dodge it. And after the damage cancel, I have not needed to learn what its attacks are other than to not be in certain areas. That would be the boss I would be scared of doing more than anything else outside of episode 1 Worm boss if I'm forced. Because the issue too is like we also have to kind of luck into some of the drops. Because if I remember, you only start with like very basic techniques. Like we're not even guaranteed like Shifta, we're not guaranteed level 3 Resta to heal people. Do you know what I mean? Like those are things you also have to realize going into it. But some of that is going to be a little rough, I think, to get used to again. Being in a party where I can't just refoe my problems away, and to actually use basic techs all the way through. Yeah, I think when we go to play it, I'll try to have like maps up on screen since I believe the route should be consistent. I don't think it's a random map. So I'll literally have it up in like the stream so chat can reference it while we play. I think that's good. I just left a Jaya behind with no hit. Don't really care about that item. Yeah. Ultimately, it just comes down to what level are we? How does that feel at that difficulty? Or if he's ready to join. Or if he's been unleashed. Pretty close to hitting level 80. Yeah, I mean, if we dedicate to it, I would probably say... I would want to do it before Anniversary event, because Anniversary into Halloween into December is a big burnout for me when it comes to PSO. So it would potentially be starting as early as next Wednesday, if there's a group that's interested in doing it consistently. I don't want to do it this week, because I'm not in the mood for it. Thank you, Jigoku Tiger. Hopefully you're doing well. Well, episode 1 is definitely longer than episode 2 because the S rank requirements are longer. Definitely more of a grueling challenge, but on the plus side, demon mech guns. I kind of want some demon mech guns, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Might go demon mech gun. Then maybe we'll try episode 2's one and see how hard it is and decide if I want a J cutter there or if I want just a health slicer. Yeah, fortunately there's more weapon types that I'd be interested in number 2. Happy birthday, been watching your videos the past few days, thanks for your hard work. No problem. Thank you for the support. Been a lot of positive comments lately on the PSO videos. I think I still gotta step up my game a little bit when it comes to skill level, but like a gradual journey each year. I mean, like now I'm menuing for texts. I wasn't doing that like 2 years ago consistently. I feel like in general, my positionings and things like TTF. There's definitely like an evolution, like my 2021 gameplay versus 2024. And given I only play like once a week at this point, well, I guess this month has been a little different, but it's been a lot more spread out versus like condensed play. Once the group hits 80, what we'll end up doing is we will switch over to very hard mode quests, and it'll still give Murphy a chance to level. I know he's looking to level his character, since we're going to remain on very hard mode. So we'll fulfill that chat request. But if chat has any other requests they want to see, I can't promise we'll do it literally this stream. Some of it might require some research. But if team has any questions, just let me know. Probably do a video on it. I think I like the chat request segment quite a bit. It allows me to have kind of like more help videos, I guess the best way to put it, that aren't quite guides. I don't know about that. That seems, Yeah, I would ... that too. 40 hit Gladius. Not bad. I was gonna roll my eyes at Chan. We'll do at least, it's looking like probably 3 more cookies, and then we'll do the very hard mode stuff. In the meantime, that'll power up Murphy to survive the other attacks. One of it will involve CCC. If chat has any hell weapons, I would recommend bringing it when we do episode 2. I'm kind of curious, like, how much XP we could get in that quest compared, because we'll do a CCC, and then we'll also do MAE episode 4, and I'm kind of curious, like, what the numbers are like a mixed party. Obviously, in solo play, things like hell level is way lower, but honestly, like, I'm very curious to comparing the two. I don't know, group of CCC level rush. I think if nothing else, like, CCC does give good experience. But it's like, how hard are the following rooms? It's like, you would need one person to carry. Hardcore. And then after that, it's like, the other players just have hell. I don't think it's that bad. Yeah, it's definitely like a solo quest. I would agree with that, just because it's easier to land hell shots while leveling up, etc. But I am kind of curious. We can still benchmark it for reference. So as long as there's one hell needle, I'm happy. If there's more than one, great. If not, whatever. I'll potentially me-get everything. As I said before, I was comparing a little bit of the EDK between them. But like, in things that were like 80% resistant are generally 60 resistant. Things that were like 60 or like 40 for the most part. Like, it is about a 20 jump on most monsters. There's a lot of enemies that just die instantly, regardless of stats. Which makes me kind of curious about it. I go to balloons. Bonk. I have so many videos on the YouTube pipeline. I was kind of laughing at that the other day. I was like, I think I have to upload like one more video, otherwise like the next 3 weeks are already filled. Probably once. Drop diamonds for. There's so many, I can't tell where it is. I thought it was here, but maybe the Guardian armor is blocking it. Teleport out. Because I did just get rid of basically every grinder that was at the bank. We are sitting at pretty low numbers of grinders if I need to pick something. But we'll update that over time. All I gotta do is pick them up while I play, that would be good. All this money I earn will offset all the Jaya usage I've been doing lately. Perfect. I gotta talk to the guy. Want my money, chat? I was like, wait a minute. Profit of 50,000. I didn't even sell all the armor. Pretty good. I could afford to put away some of these items to pick up more. I think I'll do that on the way out. Let's put away some items so I can hold more armors. Potentially getting like 20,000 more a run, depending on how many I put away. Not in like dire straits with money, but it would be nice. Not worry about Jaya for these. Honestly, game has me covered with bringers. I can put that away as well. Wait, my star atomizers. There we go. That freed up quite a few spaces. it. Looking like maybe 3 more cookies at level 80. That'll get Murphy much closer. If team is level 79 after 3 cookies, we'll do another cookie. There we go. Prison parameter. There we go. I was like, I don't want to kill anything unless we're all here. There we go. Back to murder. Bulu. Paralyzed and just shot repeatedly with demons. I know, Blue Donna even questions the cruelty of against the Bulu. You know what's crazy? We still have not seen a single rare enemy. Like, keep in mind, we have a boosted rare rate, and we've killed way more than 500 enemies that are rareable. We haven't even seen, like, a Del Rappy. What's up with that? Where's the Del Rappy, chat? Murphy, just so you know, it's supposed to set it to 150% Murphy. The cookie quest boosts it. But I'm not seeing any so far, which is really sad. Plus RDR doesn't matter when you play cookie quest. It's not gonna go above 150 unless we do Vanquish. Do you do fresh character runs from starting at level 1 as Tiger? Yeah, I think earlier today, technically we did level 1 stuff. We have a couple power leveling videos. I didn't do one today. Oh, there's a rare enemy. See, there you go, chat. Complain, get rewarded. It took its sweet time getting here. Sadly, it's the one that drops nothing of interest, but, you know. Unfortunate. Oh, unless by fresh do you mean, like, also, like, no items. Like, I'm not allowed to bring items over. In which case, the answer to that is no. I don't feel like spending time on that. So I don't just go to, like, normal mode forest play. I think I'm past that point. I have no personal interest in that. There's a lot of people that run that. But I'm like, But when it comes to playing episode 4 with, like, a fully done mind mag and 148 mind materials, absolutely. I love chat just discarding all the Maguas. Just pick them up, drop them out of disgust, and left them on the floor. Appropriate, I guess. Yeah, I don't mind leveling new people. In fact, we level ults pretty often. But it's like, I just don't... For me, personally, I don't have a reason to do, like, a potentially, like, 80-hour run of going from 1 to 80 without glitches. When I could just do the same thing in 3 hours. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, you really don't want to do it again. Like, I did that off stream before I started playing because PSO predated me streaming. So it's like, I did that a long time ago. Like, you could see the character that I leveled to 80 has like 330 hours to get to like 180-ish. And that character did like nothing in multiplayer until like 170, and that was my Ramarl. Like, legitimately did not play any multiplayer. That was single player only. And I'm like, I don't really want to go through that again. Yeah, it takes forever. It takes so long with, like, a fresh character, because you don't have, like, Spread Needle, or, like, Cannon Root, or Excalibur. So, and then your mag also sucks. So you just do, like, no damage forever. So people have asked that before, and I'm like, going like 1 to 20 is not that bad. It's like the grind of very hard mode is painfully terrible. Like, I can make it a little less terrible, but it would be very boring TTF resets. Like, do people really want to watch me kill the dragon for, like, 20 hours? I don't think they do. I think when people think that, they think just, like, clear it. I guess it's not bad in a sense to just say, like, beating falls on very hard. Oh, there's another Marissa. It's unfortunately the wrong rare. I'll take the XP, though. So, it's like, I don't know. Even if I did that, I just don't think it would be worth it, sadly. There's, like, when you play with one of these characters and help other people power level, you end up with, like, so many materials. There's, like... It's like, do you really want to play with, like, 500 less BTP MST? I don't know. Yeah, it's like the first character you play is very slow. Like, they're the character that's gonna do story mode. Those are the characters that are gonna do the side quests. And you can take your time. You're not meant to, like, rush to 80 on your first character. You have a lot of hours to put in to level your mag. Okay, this is story mode. We'll be playing that today, potentially. We'll play one thing and see how we feel about it. There's one quest that I think is okay to play, but it's not, like, phenomenal. We'll be doing 9-1 on very hard, I think, Pink ID. Just to showcase how I ended up with, like, 1,000,000 force items, because I want to make 1,000,000 force ults. If you're a self-found player, it's good to know where the fastest way to get them is. But it's like stuff most people don't need to bother with, for sure. And we'll preface those runs with those kinds of comments. Because most of the time, it's like, the answer is like, what quest do I do in very hard? It'll be TTF. So it's like, we'll talk about other things if you're just looking to level, but not necessarily only level. Yeah, I still have never beaten episode 2 story. Maybe one day. Chat will help me get there. Best everything is cookie. You're not wrong. We might just showcase one cookie quest on it. Just show how dumb it is. So I'll save one cookie for the video. That'll be the bonus one. That is a lot of money I just earned. Why would I have to do it later? Because it's not in the same video. Still trying to decide on your first character. I don't think my opinion has changed too much. Other than I think I did not... Well, I think even in my original video, I talked about how much I didn't like leveling Hugh. Yeah, Ranger's the easiest one to play. I think I'm really enjoying HughCast a lot, if you're willing to trade a little bit. I think I like him the most out of the other hunters, if you're going to play Hunter. What is the benefit of story quests? Generally not much, other than just completing story. There's one that I want to do from the standpoint of collecting fire scepters, just to showcase it on stream. It has like 1,000,000 Gorons to kill, but it's not like super fast. Honestly, I would say, based off of my experiences, Ramarl. Ramarl can do every episode with, like, no gear. Where, like, Rawcast has a little bit of a bump to it. HughCast has a big bump if you don't trade. Once you get past it, I think the HughCast is, like, way, way better. Don't get me wrong. But, like, from a new player perspective, that difference between, like... making monster parts rolling hit on monster weapons ultas have fake and yellow. Yeah, forces are kind of difficult early, and then they have like they hit their late game earlier than the other characters, so it's potential to be like basically full gear on very hard mode instead of ultimate. So they hit their peak sooner than I would say the other classes do. And then they have like a very long period in ultimate where they don't do as much. Force is like one of those ones where like if you make a game as a force, 1 million people will join. Raw Marl is like a good backup if you're playing with like a lot of people that happen to be playing Cass. And I think like just ability to get multiplayer games, she's probably like the second best at getting it. UCAS can be tough with multiplayer. It depends on who you're grouping with. Like they're really good, but it's like you need somebody to buff, so somebody has to bite the bullet. Whereas like with Force, you don't worry about that in random comps, and Raw Marl is usually good enough that it doesn't matter in most areas. Yeah. I think the problem with forces is just like, unless you play a very specific force, which is Faux Newman, it's gonna be pretty rough as a first character. Faux Numeral's not bad, but I think her big issue is HP. You don't have like the HP materials or the equivalency of like heavenly HPs to offset her really awkward HP scaling. She does a ton of damage though. But she is like a pretty good like hard mode and decent very hard mode. But like I wouldn't really recommend like Fomar first character, for example, or Fomarl, unless you really know what you're doing. Those characters are kind of like the challenge mode level up characters. Jame hit doesn't matter on Angry Fist, that is true. Which I guess is funny in a way that we want to farm Angry Fist on other difficulties. Photon Crystal and Crappy Speed. Wait a moment. Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, I think the thing that mitigates the forces from being too terrible is all you need eventually is me good in order to get you started with seabed runs on very hard. So like you'll play the game mostly normally on normal, since damage doesn't matter as much, it's just having spell access that matters. And then after that, if you can end up with something that can meet it, you can cheese a lot of really good items from seabed. In fact, we're going to be going over, I think, very hard mode runs, specifically to talk about that. If chat has any ideas of additional very hard mode quests they would recommend, we could always do that, of course. But we'll probably do a TTF start to finish as like a group, just to say that we did it. And I'll finalize my list a little more. Because I think for people looking to like get out of that awkward, like, I'm level 80 but I can't do ultimate period, where they potentially would go. And of course we're going to be doing a lot of episode 4 quests. I haven't decided if I wanted to do all of the Heart of items, to be honest. Because technically some people will do those until they get a Heart of item. I just feel, sadly, outside of episode 4 ones, the surrounding items are just kind of bad. Or at least in episode 4 you're getting like photon crystals and like cloaks. Like those are actually like legit drops. Like Congeal Cloak is legit. There's like some justification for it, but I don't know about the others so much. Goodbye, Marissa's. I definitely want to talk about when we go to section IDs, the newbie traps. I'm going to talk about Cycle 1 and Heaven Punisher extensively. I'm not sure which of the other ones is like the best, but I know which ones are definitely the worst. And those are the ones that people end up running. Like, I'll humor people and do them every now and then, but I really think those runs are terrible. Even with Rare Enemy, the drop radius is atrocious. Like, I think at some point we'll do on-stream Orange ID Gibbles for Cycle 1, for example. We do a lot of Blue ID Del Beater already. So technically we've been doing Cycle 1 runs pretty often. Technically. Especially with us introducing Seabed into the mix a bit more. Lock 1, somebody has found red ring, nice. They're getting close. Looks like probably one more cookie will put people there. It'll give Murphy like 7 or so quests to catch up. Since I have about 2 per area, or yeah, 2 per area, except for episode 2. Honestly, I could not think of like what to run in episode 2 other than CCC. Just don't think anything else is really worth it. Sorry, episode 2. Disappointing everybody as usual. If chat has any other secret quests for very hard mode explicitly, feel free to share. I think my list is going to be Massive Attack version 1, 2, or whatever it's called, or Stink Frame resets on Pink ID. It's going to be Terrell's Ego, White ID, Dragon resets. Trying to think of other ones that are legitimate runs. CCC on episode 2. Used to do hard blue. I was actually looking at that HellCleave. I was like, if the request was for hard mode, I probably would have put in our favorite Fragments of Memory quest on there. Yeah, I was just kind of staring at it, and I'm like, other than Blue ID episode 2, I didn't really see anything. It's like things like. Do this real quick, and then we'll finish that thought. Yeah, I mean, you could get things like Attribute Wall, but it's like, it's just okay. I don't really want to tell people to grind for that. At least if the other ones are there, like you're trying to get a good Stink Frame. I think knowing that Pink ID reset, I think is the fastest way to get it. I think. Where you just fight the, what's it called? The Gigabooma as Pink ID. Because that's how I got my Stink Frame. Although I ended up buying somebody else's because I felt bad. But the one that I did get with stats, I did put away. In case I want to make another one of those later. Just looking at the shop as a joke. We'll do at least one more cookie quest. Sadly, in the video, I can't go over the purple runs for Attribute Wall, if I recall. Yeah, it's just kind of one of those ones where I'm like, I don't know if I would really recommend the hunt for it. There's not really anything exciting. Like, I did try to look at the Heart of items, because they do appear in very hard mode. I am a ghost indeed. But it's like, I don't even think those runs are fun to do. Like, the closest I'll do, as I said before, is the episode 4, where I think that one is fair. Like, that quest gives at least decent items with it, and I'll mention it as, like, something to do if bored. Uh-oh. 94,000 single leads. What are you gonna do with them? Yeah, there weren't even, like, fantastic Vice runs either. Like, the closest was, again, like, White ID CCC. It's okay. If you play that during Rare Enemy Week, it's funny. Like, if you're sub 80. It's obviously not runs you would do when you're above 80. That's where I'm gonna frame that video in the context, because that's more what the chat request was for. Although I think going forward, I should probably take a screenshot of people asking the question and put it in the video. Oh no, you're in the store now. I used to have things like recommend sounds, but for the most part we just discuss it as a group, and we just add it from the games we play. Yeah, like I tried looking at tower drops on very hard. Like there are tower drops to do. Like I think for Spirit Garment, I think it was Pink ID PW4 resets, I think. Because you got the Deloli drop plus Gibbles. I could be misremembering the ID. It could be Red ID again. But like those are like legit things that people do. They don't do it like super often. It's like a one and done kind of thing. Yeah, red ID, nice. I remember doing that a long time ago. That was like 2021 me that did it, maybe 2020. But those are runs I don't normally do because I already have the items. Like I don't need to do them anymore. Because I remember you would basically, it would be like Disco Brayman plus that. Oh no, show us Fennel. Look how happy he is, John. He's just happy to be there. But yeah, like I remember that from a long time ago, and we'll, you know, I'll double check that list before we do the chat requests to make sure I'm not like hallucinating the IDs. But then I'll just give like little summaries as we go through them. Because last time we had people asking about green ID and red ID. Man's vibing. He's so happy to exist. Rip all these enemies. Yeah, if chat has any ideas for anything man-wise, just let me know. Well, it's not like super crude or anything. I'll generally work with it. Goku Tankers is the band I'm vibing right now. Nice. Yeah, we'll cover those. I think maybe we'll do a separate one. I don't know. If somebody asks me for hard mode ones, I'll think about it. Some ideas are meme runs, to be honest. Oh no. I mean, unfortunately it didn't work out this year. One day we'll do the tightest laugh percentage Final Fantasy X run. Wiki quests are turning brain to mush. We're almost done with them. Rip all these enemies. Let the cookie run through you. Oh no. Level 79, not bad. Here. Yeah, we're approaching like 2 hours, 12 minutes. Stream time. That's not even when we started the run and we're almost done already. That's the journey to 1 to 80 at high level play. About 2.5 hours real time. Even with making games and messing around. Prepared it, baked it. Oh no, he's going full Bane on us. Poor enemies. Heal the team a little bit here. I'm just gonna debuff them. I'm tired of them hitting me. Poor enemies. Yeah, I'm mostly happy we got our audio quality back up after Windows 11. Thank you, RJCast, for the happy birthday-ish. Will be my birthday in 2 hours, technically. I was like, it's close enough. Rid of these. Magic Rock Moolah, nice. Blue ID is so silly here. So we'll save one cookie quest for the video. What to do when you have a lot of cookies. Save hours making old characters. Enjoy them at the high level difficulties. Let's see, will the team hit 80 here? Best part is I still have spare cookies, so it doesn't really matter if we need 2 more or not. Still don't need to go back to the bank. Yeah, I would say the big thing though, Tiger was talking about what character to make. I would also make sure you install add-ons. I'm gonna really recommend you do it, especially if you're like, if you haven't played in a while or you just haven't played the character before. It can be hard to understand like the exact accuracy of your attacks since the game kind of hides that information. And if nothing else, if you want to play a Force, it's a lifesaver for learning what their weaknesses are at a glance. Especially since there's like a difference of like multiplayer versus single player. That's a lot of memorization. Switch between the two. Whereas like with the add-on, you just look in the corner. It's all good. Yeah, plus not needing to pick up everything to identify it, making sure you don't miss out on like actually good common weapon. There we go, 2 level 80s. So we're officially done. But we'll continue with very hard for a little bit more. There we go. Run over at like 2 hours-ish. Congratulations. The Magic Rock Mula. I was gonna say, one day Pod will pay off. For HellCleave or myself. We've had Pod give other people super calibers before. I think a couple people struck it rich and got like the equivalency of a several thousand PD item. Items are just kind of okay. I don't think I need any Magic Rock Mulas, sadly. I have like 7 of them. All your best stuff still from boxes. Ooh. I was gonna say, HellCleave lives in the box. So yeah, definitely check out the Discord if you haven't already. If you do !Discord, you can get an invite link. We have instructions on how to install it. And we provide all the files. I try to make it as simple as possible. I just put it literally all in the Discord. And then if you just want to watch other stuff in general, we have specifically the playlist you can find with PSO guides, which has all of our guides. I might do one for chat requests. I guess I should probably add that soon. Or put it as part of PSO guides. I guess they're kind of like guides in a way. They're just not as formal, where I'm just talking about it in very big detail. Okay, so we ended up with the Photon Crystal, Rappy's Beak. Not bad. For the Heavenly Bat. So we'll take a small break. I'm gonna go over the quests. We'll have chat decide if that makes sense. And then we'll begin. We'll do one more cookie as part of the quest series. So at some point this character will need to wait for. Let's see. What would my quest list be? It would be right now Terrell's Ego White ID, Reset at Dragon. We have Maximum Attack version 2. Pink ID for Stink Frame and Fire Scepter Agni or Igni as the ult. We have episode 2 CCC, Blueful for Jaya. Technically we could do Disco Brave Man there, but I don't think it's as crazy as Jaya is there. We have PW3 Pink ID box resets. That one's actually crazy because you could get Rifoi, Spirit Garment, and Jaya in the same run for no reason. And if you're playing a Force, you're going to be Pink ID anyway, so I think that just makes sense to tell people that are Forces to do that. The early techs. Then it would be Phantasmal World 4, Redria for Spirit Garment, Disco Brave Man. Then episode 4, I have 9-1 Government Quest for all Elemental Scepters for Forces, if they're missing something. I have MA4C Red for doing Dorfon Reset, MA4B Full Clear, and MA4B Partial Clear. Those are the quests I plan on doing. Whatever quest says Red Barrier in episode 2. What quest says Red Barrier in episode 2? The cookies are actually coming to an end. We're gonna take a small break and then go over the things. Rest in peace, Magic Rock Mula. I don't feel like picking you up. I have like 9 of you in my share bag. So let's take a small break. And then we'll get started again. So let's go ahead and say goodbye to YouTube. I don't have anything to say. People hit 80. Congratulations. Otherwise, we'll keep leveling very hard mode in just a moment. And take advantage of the rare item up afterwards. So long for now, YouTube, and I guess see you in the next part.